A word for our listeners. Season 2 of Masks of Nyarlathotep is set in the 1930s and 40s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It's not our intention to offend. We merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to Masks of Nyarlathotep, a Nerds Domain gaming podcast. Join us each week as our investigators uncover the corruption of the mythos in World War II. Starring George Chimples, Rob Walker, Phil Durham, Shirley Niedzwiecki, and Justin Kimmett, with Matt Quiett running the table as keeper. Eldritch evils and crazed Nazi cultists await you just beyond this music. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. I'm Matt, and I'm here with Rob.
Having a great time now that he pushed the button.
And Shirley.
Hello.
And Phil.
Hello.
And I am a master at doing the audio things. I can figure out when to push a button. I have cues that I wait for.
Wow.
I got this handled.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we are in Cairo. Yay.
Yay.
Next thing we're going to do is go to Shirley.
Yes.
Who's dead, and talk about...
Samantha.
I'm sorry, yes, go to Samantha Evanston and talk about what's going on in the museum.
Yes.
So you arrive at the museum. It's
Yes.
still open. It has just gotten dark. It's still twilighty outside. And as you enter, you see that there are four men kind of milling about in the front entryway, like the where you first come into the museum and there's displays.
Right.
There are four men, largish men, not like overly large, but like we're talking like 6'1", muscular,
Okay.
in suits that have been traveled in, clearly have been traveled in.
So I guess my question is, with all that I've seen up until this point, does it look dodgy? Like,
Well, I'm going to finish describing
Oh,
it,
okay.
and you can make that decision.
right?
What you noticed about all of them as you kind of walk in and you start to head past them is that they're speaking in German, and their accent is there is no accent on the German. It is clearly their native language.
Mm-hmm.
You can roll German to see if you can figure out where they're from, because there's like the Austrian German and Czech German, but
Right.
And
Do they
Matt
take notice of me at all?
I mean they're aware that you're there.
That's it. Like,
Yeah.
they don't like...
It's not like they're like the jig is up and then they attack. They're
Well,
like
I
there is a
mean-
lady that comes in and one of them tips his head like
Oh.
ma'am, like nothing.
I
out of
was
the
more
ordinary.
concerned about being noticed.
You have been seen.
like, from
You've not been recognized.
recognized.
Yes.
Jeez Louise.
Can you roll your German now?
Yes.
I scared the cat.
Oh, maybe it's 62 over 57.
Yeah, you don't know where they would be from with that accent,
Right.
but they're quietly talking to each other.
But I can make out what they're saying. Or
Yeah,
not.
they're mocking the artifacts.
They're mocking the artifacts.
Something along the lines of how such an inferior culture could have put together things that people think are so great.
I'm just gonna roll my eyes and keep going.
You roll your eyes.
But I'm
Nope,
looking
nope, nope.
down.
I didn't see something. Okay. So you're headed back to the office again.
Yes.
Okay. So you come around the corner to go to open the door. You open it, and you can kind of see into Quiet's office.
Mm-hmm.
There are two men, or there's a woman and a man in his office. The man is standing, and the woman is sitting.
Mm-hmm.
The man is standing very aggressively, like he's
Okay. Over his desk, over Quiett,
like leaning. Quiett is seated at his desk. The
Mhm.
woman is in the seat across from him, and the man is.
So her back is to me.
You're kind of seeing him from the side. So
So his desk is not facing the door.
no.
Okay.
And they are far enough in that or they're far enough away that you could turn around and leave, and you probably wouldn't be noticed. But the man, it's like from the door, it's the man, the woman is seated, and then Quiett is in his desk. So you would have the man is closest to you.
I see her from the side.
Yeah.
Does she look familiar?
Roll
Long
your
black
knowledge.
hair or anything?
No. Roll your knowledge.
Ought 3.
Ought 3.
Yep.
You remember seeing her in a dossier for the Nachtwolfe. I have to go look up her name, but she is definitely, you've definitely seen her in a dossier for the Nachtwolfe before. And she is one of their field guides or field supervisors.
Then that's
Wow, that's really.
Well, the thing is, if I recognize her and she's an operative, she could have a dossier on me.
That's potential, but by operative I mean she's one of their head archaeologists in the field. That doesn't necessarily mean she deals with internal security or that kind of stuff.
So I would I would kind of like very lightly clear my throat and knock on the door and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry to interrupt. I was just coming back about."
Miss Evanston, or Madam Evanston. Is that the way to say lady?
Madame?
Madame Evanston. I'm actually in the middle of a meeting with these two folks. Could I talk to you perhaps in the morning? This is a very important. We need to cover a few things.
Oh, sure. I apologize for interrupting. I'll take my leave.
Absolutely. Feel free to stop by. Sometime in the morning. I'd be happy to speak with you about anything that you'd like.
Okay, thank you so much. I will leave.
So you kind of turn around and start heading back, and her name is Amelia Fisher, Fischer. She is known for her connections with Egyptology and hieroglyphics specifically. Probably one of the people that is involved, that would be involved here with anything
Egyptology and what?
Hieroglyphics. Oh. She's probably going to be leading or part of the leadership for whatever group is here that would be looking into the same things you are.
Right. And then I don't recognize the man.
No. You didn't really get a catch his face, though. He's kind of standing sort of with his back to the door.
Yeah.
You don't get enough good enough look at him.
Perpendicular.
Are you so you head back out?
The thing is, if I know her to be of that, like, I have a feeling they're here for the Blackstone.
Okay.
And I'm, do I know where these guys went?
Yeah, sort of. They went to go try and track down.
Oh, then I don't know where they went.
Blythe Manders.
Gosh, I wish I had a pager.
Or a phone.
Or a phone. I would just head back to the room.
Okay. So you come out of the back offices and head back towards the front, and one of the four men is kind of standing there across from the door, leaning what looks like nonchalantly, but he is poised to move.
Right.
So when you come out, he kind of stands up straight and starts walking towards you.
Great.
Fräulein.
Is he talking to me in German?
Yes. Do you ignore him, or do you just act like you don't understand him? There's a difference.
I'm gonna act like I don't understand him.
Okay. He looks at you and he says, in English, he says, "Ma'am."
Yes.
May I ask you what you're doing here? His English is accented, but not heavily.
Right. I'm with an archaeology group going out to a dig, and we came in for some research for some hieroglyphics that we came across.
Oh, my employer is has a great deal of knowledge about hieroglyphics. I'm sure she'd be happy to talk with you.
I spoke with them just now. They're in a very discreet meeting. Didn't want to be interrupted.
Well, I'm sure if you stay here, she'll be happy to talk with you when she's done.
Oh, I would love the help.
Okay. So, since you know so much about Egyptology, why don't you explain some of these pieces to me?
I don't know. My the person running the archaeology dig is. I'm just here as a research assistant.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, normally research assistants know at
I
least some.
know.
Well, walk me through it because I don't know anything.
Of what
I just
part?
carry the heavy things.
We have one of those.
And he smiles at you, and it is charming.
Yeah, but no.
No, I get it, but he
Right.
he is sincerely charming.
So I try to. No, I'm not going to do it because I'll.
You
mess
don't
up.
want to flirt with a Nazi. You never want to. Flirt with
I
a
was
Nazi.
going to feign a blush, but nope.
So you start walking him through some of the pieces of like the little bits you know here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Roll your occult because that's more of the thing you have.
Right. I mean, like, I would take him to, like, the small little artifacts that are in the room and say,
Sure.
but this and this. And
Yeah, sure.
Take him to the back room, she says.
Where she's gonna stab him, just like Astor taught her to.
You want
Damn
me to
straight.
roll my occult?
Occult.
Let's be clear. She's gonna take him to a well.
Wow.
Oh, really? I got an 80 over 79. That's a
So you start describing. You've been through here before.
Mm-hmm.
You miss some of the finer points that you can't just kind of pull. But he seems to be following along and enjoying the talk. He doesn't touch you, but he becomes more familiar in his stance with you as you guys talk. Like he's enjoying your company, but it's an appropriate appropriate manner for a socialite.
Oh, okay.
So he is clearly from his stance enjoying your company and enjoying the information, and he holds up his end of the conversation even though he knows nothing about what's going on. And it's very clear that he thinks they're kind of cool and pretty, but he doesn't know anything.
You just met me.
Okay. So he's being upfront with me about...
Yeah. He seems to be, at least. He either is being upfront or he's really, really good at lying. It's about another 20 minutes, and the gentleman and the woman come out. What's her name? Fisher? I should really write that down. I said Amelia, right?
Yes.
She, in German, says, "Go get the men ready to leave," and she comes over to the gentleman standing with you. And in German, because you speak, what's your German score?
I have a 57.
Okay. So she turns to the gentleman with you and she says, the man here claims that the stone, that he doesn't know anything about the stone. I think he's lying, and I think Ehrlichman was lying to your men, or to the men in Vienna. I'm almost positive the stone is in the building. We're going to come back after it closes. But she doesn't say it in like a menacing, angry way.
It's just a matter of fact that this is what's going to happen.
No, she seems pleasant, as though she's just talking to him in German.
Oh, okay.
Pleasantly.
Yes.
Like, oh, we're just going to come back later and we'll ransack the place. It's not a big deal. So that nothing seems amiss to the person that clearly doesn't speak German.
Right.
And he turns back to her, or he nods along and he says, "This woman here says she's part of an expedition. They had some questions about hieroglyphics. I thought that another contact here wouldn't be unhelpful."
Right.
And she turns to you and in English says, "So, my name is Amelia Fisher. What is your name?"
It's Samantha Evanston?
Miss Evanston. I hear you have some questions about hieroglyphics.
Yes, I was actually coming to speak to Quiett about possibly meeting up with their hieroglyph specialist tomorrow.
I'd be happy to look at anything you have and see if I can translate it for you.
Fudge muffins. Well, what is the name of the head of an archaeology dig?
The head of my my boss.
Oh, okay.
You could say my boss.
Yeah.
Like,
So my boss just wanted me to come. I'm the research assistant for our dig. he wanted me to come and find out if they had an expert for
Oh, so
any
you're
of
just
the.
you're just running the errands and setting things up.
Yes.
If you do need help, I'd be happy to stop by the hotel and walk through things with your boss. Whatever we can do to help, I'd be happy to.
Oh, that's wonderful. I will go ahead and let him know, and I'll tell her that we're staying at a hotel, whatever, but not really.
Roll knowledge to see if you give him an actual hotel name. Roll knowledge.
I do.
No,
It's the one that's beside it.
Roll
the one that
knowledge.
Okay.
You didn't plan to have like a fake hotel.
No, I didn't. So 33 under 90.
That's fine, yeah. So you pull a
Thank
hotel
God.
off the top of your head, just out of nowhere, that is not yours. And she says, "Okay, well, yeah. If you need anything," she snaps at the guy that's been talking to you, and he pulls out a piece of paper, and she writes down her name, her hotel name, and then the number for the hotel, so you can ring it. And she says, "Feel free to call if your boss wants to come have dinner. We can talk over things. I'd be happy to help."
Thank you. We're always looking for contacts in the field.
Excellent.
This is wonderful.
So let us know what we can do for you. We'll be happy to work out whatever we can.
Thank you so much.
And she turns and heads out, the man following behind her. The man smiles very pleasantly at you. He says, "It has been a pleasure speaking with you."
I would shake his hand.
Sure.
No? I have a glove on.
That's fine. No, that's fine. He wouldn't shake your hand, though. He'd kiss it.
Oh,
Lightly.
it's not polite.
Not ladies. Not a lady. You don't, shake a hand.
Well,
Okay.
do the
Sure.
woman thing.
You dainty shake his hand?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they leave.
Okay.
Are you leaving as well?
I am going to feign interest in the artifacts that we were concentrating on before he was leaving.
Roll persuade?
Or, not feign it, but
Nope,
just stand there and
that's roll
keep
persuade.
looking at it. Of course not.
So you failed?
46 under over.
Under or over? What's your persuade score?
MNOP. 20.
Okay.
So
they walk on out. You stand there for a few minutes. They've clearly left. What are you doing?
I want to give it at least 5 minutes.
Okay.
Like I'm frazzled.
Okay.
Like that's like some of the scariest stuff. Never split the party stuff that happened.
Okay.
So
That's not the scariest. Never split the
well,
party.
Yeah,
for
that
her
happened.
it is because
Yeah, you
I
could
could
have
have died.
two dudes could have shown up and beat you over the head with blackjacks until they drug you away to a house to be sacrificed on a stele.
Good night. I was just thinking I'm gonna end up like
That
Johnny.
happened in
I'm
this
gonna
game.
end up like Johnny. I'm gonna end up like Johnny.
You said you were okay going off by yourself.
I was.
So you, after the 5 minutes pass, what are you doing? I still need that next step. What are you doing?
My intention was to head back to the. I could go see Good Day.
You tell me what you're doing. That's all I'm asking you to do.
You made her say
How much?
that.
How much time? How much longer until it closes?
Probably another half hour, 45 minutes.
Oh! I could go warn him. Oh, I will go back and warn him. Oh, wait, no. What if he's in on it?
I don't know, Shirley.
She is having some issues here, obviously.
You mean you? You are having some issues here.
Both. It can be both.
Right.
Okay, so she would go back to see if Gate was okay, and then still ask for the hieroglyph help to see maybe if he's rattled or if he divulges any information because they asked about it and he didn't.
Anyway,
let them know.
let's just. So you're gonna go back there and talk to
Yeah.
him. What, Phil?
So, from what I've pieced together that your character knows, and you can decide whether your character puts this together or not. She told the guy that she was told the stone's not there, but they're going to come back and look for it anyways. So
Yeah.
it would seem that he has already told her it's not there, so therefore he is not in on it.
Yeah, that would be the clear assumption.
Oh, because she was talking to him in German. They didn't think I knew German. All right, so I'm going to go tell him. Look, my deduction skills aren't that.
And you can decide
Deductive.
whether Evelyn would put those pieces together or not. but-
Yeah, she would.
Okay.
Okay, so you head back to talk to Quiett.
Mm-hmm.
He is sitting at his desk, smoking a cigarette with a like 4 fingers of of a dark alcohol in a glass in his other hand, and he seems to be a little spaced out. He doesn't even notice you walk into the room.
Mr. Quiett, are you...
Oh, Miss Evanston, yes. What can I do for you?
The spaced out thing kind of freaks me out, so I'm just going to...
He seems to have snapped out of it. He's clearly in deep thought. It wasn't like
he
no.
was possessed by anything?
No.
Can I roll an occult?
Sure, go for it.
No, I'm kidding.
Is possessed by... Oh, go ahead. No, what were you saying?
Is everything okay?
Yes, it was just lots of research that they were asking about, and I didn't have everything they needed.
So I my parents come from money, and they had me take language lessons, and I overheard them talking.
Your parents? You overheard your parents talking?
No, when the woman came out, Amelia came out, she introduced herself to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I overheard them talking. I know they were here for the stone.
He takes a very long drag of a cigarette.
But my concern is not that they were here for the stone. My concern is that they said they were going to come back after the museum is closed and look for it because they did not believe you.
I see.
Do you have any extra security or any security?
If the Nazis want in the museum, the Nazis are going to get in the museum. And I would rather not have dead security.
So when we pulled, this is Shirley, when we pulled that thing out of the crate, how big was it? Is it something that we could move?
You could have moved, yes. It's hefty, but 2 or 3 people Blake's size could have moved it.
Okay. Do you have, okay, I have an idea. I could go get my 2 friends, and we could make sure that there was nobody watching over the place, and then move the stone. Or
So you want to steal the stone so that it doesn't
no?
get
Do
stolen?
you have the ability to
I mean, that was
move
not
the
what-
stone? No. Do you have the ability to move the stone?
I don't have anywhere to store the stone.
There are no
And,
patrons
And
of the
not anyone that I would trust to keep Nazis out. At this
British
point,
Empire?
since I am not British, and neither is the director, I don't know.
What about I heard of Major Aloysius blah, 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 blah,
Blythe Manders. It's written down right there.
Blythe Manders.
You even have it in your notes, Shirley.
I know.
Major Blythe Manders is an interesting gentleman, and I don't know that his actions are as altruistic as he makes them seem.
That is of a concern.
How familiar are you with him?
I am not familiar with him at all. I haven't met him yet. What is your concern with him?
That he would sell the stone?
Oh. But I heard he was very engaged in Egyptian heritage. Like, he believes things that belong in museums.
So did the British Empire until they stole a large amount of our artifacts.
And you believe him to be one of that type
I think
of
that there's a
person?
potential for that, yes.
Has he done it in the past?
I don't keep track of this man's every transaction. So
Well,
I
thought
can't be
maybe
sure.
you had heard.
I know that he has bought a great deal of items for his personal collection, and I have not seen his personal collection.
Oh. Well, that doesn't sound very museum-like.
If you think that if you think Major would be a good option for that, we would need to make sure that could be secured between now and whenever the Nazis come back.
They said they were coming back after the museum closed this evening.
That's a vague time frame, so...
What time does it close?
And then about 45 minutes. But, I mean, they could come in the middle of the night. I would assume they'd wait until much later.
I see what you're saying.
It's not like we're going to lock the doors and turn around and they're going to break right in.
Right. Do you feel comfortable with that choice? But you don't have anyone else?
Someone would need to verify that he's willing to hold it. At least if the Major has it and he steals it, I know who stole it. And I can track who he sold it to. The Nazis, I don't know what their intentions are. Other than they were very emphatic that they needed it.
How long are we going to be here?
A couple of days. Is as long as you've said you're going to be here. You can stay here as long as you guys need.
I do have another option. My team could keep it for you.
Where would you be keeping it?
Where we're staying. Because she's assuming that because everywhere else that she goes, they have safes.
There's not going to be a good, big enough safe for that stone.
For that crate?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big
crate. Yeah.
Crate. It'd end up in a storage room, probably.
Right. And we don't want that. Let me try to find my the leader of my archaeology team and Jean and come back to see you.
What was it that was so important about this stone?
I don't have persuade.
Okay.
You just blurt that out loud to him.
I'm not good at persuading you, so I don't know what to say.
I think Jean would need to divulge that information. I'm only here to do the research and take the rubbings. That's why I came back for someone to help with the hieroglyphics.
See.
Translation.
Speak with John. I'm sorry. Speak with Monsieur Cassell and let me know what your decision is.
Okay. Could you guys be coming in the door about the time that I'm walking out?
No, because they're going back to the hotel. They wouldn't
No.
have. Or no, you guys were coming here? Oh, yeah, then,
Yes.
yeah. So, no. No.
Oh no, because they were gone for, and I was there to do the whole. Yeah.
Wow. You know, you could ask him about the translation now while you're standing there.
I will ask him about the translation now while I'm standing here.
Good idea, roll.
So you hand him the translation?
Yes.
Can you roll luck for me?
54 under 65.
I can translate this. This is the rubbing off of the stone, right?
Yes.
I can translate this. It'll take a little bit of time. How important is this?
Well, since the Nazis are after it, I think it's very important.
Okay.
I mean,
What do you know? Do you know anything of what this might say?
about
what
a
did
fifth.
I translate off of it? Did you tell me?
Nope, not yet.
Well, then
No, you don't. Because you're the
No.
assistant.
I did like what you said, 3/5 of it or something.
But are you really going to tell him you know what it says, even though you know you
No,
don't?
I'm
Okay.
not.
So then, can you just answer his question?
No, I can't. I have no idea. That's why I'm coming to you for help.
Well, why don't you have a seat? I'll get started. And he pulls out a couple of sheets of paper and his like little pen set. And he starts going over it. It's probably another 45 minutes, right about when the gym,
Yes.
the museum is going to close, and John and Shannon show up. That's you guys.
Yeah.
Are you guys heading straight back? The museum's pretty empty. Are you heading straight back to the office?
I think that's, yes, logically where we would expect to find.
So you come in, and sitting there is Samantha. His names are hard. With Mr. Quiett. And he's kind of looking at the rubbing and making notes when you come in.
I bring them up to speed.
Oh, okay.
Like, right.
Well, no, with what
Can you tell me what you bring them up to speed with?
the same stuff that I told him that I overheard the
Okay.
German archaeology team saying that they were going to come back and take the obelisk, and that I mentioned we may want to seek Aloysius Blythe Mander's help in hiding the obelisk.
So what do you say, John? Is that something you're willing to do?
No, I mean, if there's concerns about the guys, if there's concerns about him being less than stellar, then there's no way we're going to include him. It's just not worth it. We can't move it. The reality is there's probably someone watching. There's probably someone around here keeping an eye out on the area. So even if we got his help, if we move it, we're probably going to be spotted.
Right.
It's going to turn into just a shit show.
So Shirley has a question at this point in time. Is Hitler's interest in the occult like well known, or
It's somewhat well known.
in archaeology circles would it be?
It's known that Germany has a lot of archaeology teams out, but they had them out prior to World War I as well.
Okay,
I thought Jones.
right. Okay, well never mind. I'm not going to go down that avenue then. All right.
So, and do you have any suggestions, Mr. Cassell?
So we're just letting it fall into their hands.
This building's one floor.
There's a basement, but it's all storage.
Storage for what?
Artifacts.
If the Nazis are interested, I mean, I could tell you it's probably not strictly academic.
What do you mean by that?
They're some strange people. They believe some strange things. They think they're probably going to get some kind of Egyptian magic or Egyptian power out of it. And they think they're going to be able to extract something from it. They're not going to be polite with it. They're not going to put it in a museum. They're going to decimate it. They're going to destroy it. If it doesn't do what they need it to do. The question is, what do we find out on the writings? Is there something that could be of interest to them?
The writings here, hieroglyphics are never an exact translation, but
Just context is really what we're looking
it
for.
speaks of an item called a 10 being in an area, in a place called, sorry, I'm looking for the translation. There it is. The rising of the sun on the horizon is the location for it, which I'm of the opinion that might be a place called Amarna. Are you familiar with Amarna?
Yeah.
Lawyer persuade.
Sammy, can you collaborate or corroborate what he's saying to my notes?
Yes.
Got it. Sorry, Mark.
Is and because of a journal that I read, I heard about Amarna, but could it be meaning the opposite, or could it be meaning somewhere else other than Amarna?
It's possible that it might mean something other than Amarna. What were you thinking? Have you had any luck with the other language or the Hieratic?
The other language is indiscernible. That's the problem. In the Hieratic, we don't know a
We
whole lot
don't
about.
know.
I mean, I'm getting a little bit from it, but not a ton. What's more critical is, I mean, if they're aligning, and you said they do align, right? You look at my notes.
Looking at your notes,
They align, right? That some of the phrases he's catching.
yes, but the
Okay.
Amarna is where we're having an issue. It seems to be indicating maybe
It's
that
not-
it's not
Not
Amarna.
not my concern. My concern is if they've got. So you got to look at some of the places that we're dealing with, and some of the stuff we're dealing with. They're going to be superstitious people, and I don't want them to be using superstition to fear monger. I mean, that's what the Nazis are going to do, right?
Right.
So I mean, if they're translating a language that no one else can, it's not knowledge we need to be giving them. So that
Right.
means that if it corroborates to our notes, then we can potentially discern the third language on the stone.
Right.
That means that we can't just leave it intact the way it is. That's what I'm trying to imply. It needs to be moved. It needs to disappear. We can't leave any of it intact.
Are you suggesting destroying it?
We have rubbings. We can take another set. I know it's ancient and it's important, but more importantly, where do you stand on the war?
Personally, if the war breaks out, if the war actually breaks out, Britain will be forced to take their focus off of Egypt, and maybe we can gain independence. But if the Nazis don't have a problem with throwing their weight around like they threatened me with, then
So this is your first interaction with the Nazis?
I had not met any of them, either of them before tonight.
So I can personally attest to the despicable acts that we have seen just in our travels and our studies. Being from Europe, we're seeing it day in and day out with the reports that are coming back. It's pretty horrific. And they're intent upon not stopping. They are just ruthless. Cairo would be another step in the path. They're not going to stop. It needs to be eliminated. You don't want the war to break out. That's what I'm saying. You have a better chance at independence over annihilation if you continue the path you're on.
And that's your opinion as a Frenchman.
That's my opinion as a human.
Either way, I don't wish to assist someone who doesn't ask politely. You guys came and said, hey, have you found this thing? We'll help you find it. They came in and immediately started with, you're going to hand this over.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't want to take it. You wanted to see it and take rubbings, which is the appropriate thing that an archaeologist does for a place they respect like a museum. That's not what they did here. I don't wish to see it destroyed, but if it disappeared from this museum,
What about-
he pulls a key out of his drawer and sets it down out the back door. I couldn't do anything about that.
What about defaced? Would
I-
you rather try to keep most of it intact if we could?
I wouldn't.
I would
I
rather
wouldn't-
it being kept intact.
As a member of the museum staff, I would not want to see it change its state at all.
Gotcha.
If that happened, that would be unfortunate.
I mean, wouldn't it be unfortunate if you couldn't tell the location or...
I've already told them that it's not here.
No, on the
Well.
stone where it's pointing.
Well,
Where the question in translation would be.
without knowing that third language and with my lack of full knowledge of Hieratic, I don't know that I can deface enough of it, or I can point someone in the right. I can definitely show you which hieroglyphs you should remove, but the other two languages are not within my skill set. I would actually have to have someone come in and translate the Hieratic
And figure out
and
where-
I have no idea what the other language is, so I couldn't be sure.
So, from the information that he is giving us and what she knows from the Atlantean, is she figuring more of it out, or is she just
Not really.
back at the same spot?
It's
she was?
possible that the Major has information in some way, shape, or form that might help clear this up. Since Ehrlichman had it written in his notes about that, but you're not catching anything right here.
So everything that I've translated so far is about the same thing that he's given us.
It's describing the Aten. It's describing the same location. You feel comfortable knowing that you can finish out the translation now. You with his notes, and it's just a matter of not translating so much as interpreting what they mean, because the things that it's saying are vague.
Right.
Shannon, you think you and I could move it?
What's your strength, Rob?
14.
Oh yeah, you two could seriously, yeah, you could definitely move. Shannon, you could probably move it by yourself. It just would be a pain in the ass.
Well, so technically, I'm large. I'm a size 15.
Yeah,
My strength is 12, which is
that's still.
good,
I mean,
but
yeah, you guys could move it easily by yourselves with the two of you.
Okay. But what weight? If we could both move it, it could fit in the trunk of a car.
It would, with the suspension in cars of this current time, you wouldn't want to put that in the back of a car.
We need a truck.
Especially not the back of a car. Like if you put it in the back seat of a car,
What do we
where it
want
could
to
be distributed a little better, maybe then.
Keep it in the crate? Is it like a
No.
like a long thin crate?
No,
We
it's
want
like
it-
a big boxy crate.
We want it out of the crate so we can move it. We need to wrap it so it's not discernible what it is. So here's what I...
as your security expert, let me go walk the perimeter while you guys.
Well, I was actually thinking about doing a check, doing a sweep. We need to dialogue. So let's... What time is it? No, about what time is the museum closing?
The museum is closing or is closed now.
Okay.
I mean, you guys walked in as it was closing. They're probably closed by the time you guys finish this conversation and step away.
So he's left us the key.
To the back door specifically.
The back door specifically. Let's go grab a bite.
Are all three of you going to grab a bite?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you taking the key, I assume? Okay.
Yeah.
Says I will he gathers up his notes and hands them to Samantha. He says, I will be happy to help you with any more translations, but I think that's about as good as the hieroglyphics are going to get. I could have someone come and verify the hieratic. It might take part of the day tomorrow to get somebody over here. If you want to come back with that rubbing. If not, I understand.
Hieratic.
Just let me know first thing in the morning if you want someone here.
We don't want to... Yeah. Let's wait on that.
Well,
I don't want inquisitive eyes to be looking for something if it disappears.
Well, Mademoiselle Evanston already said that she spoke with,
Miss Fisher.
yes.
Right, I know.
So,
I feel it would behoove us if I came back and acted as if everything was normal, looking for more translation.
Yeah, I don't want you to bring...
I'll bring the hieratic rubbings. That's it.
I wouldn't want you to bring any rubbings. We're going to find something else for you to get translated.
he actually opens the same drawer, and he pulls out a couple of rubbings. He says you could bring those and closes it.
Okay.
That way, at least there's something. You have something. If
I just don't want anything tied back to us. I don't want anything tied back to you.
Can you all three of you roll persuade?
Got it.
63 over 20.
Did you get it, Phil?
I got it. I got an odd 9 under my 16.
He drops into French. It's a little accented. Says, "Are you truly archaeologists?
Oh no! Hey, he
Do you speak
doesn't-
French?"
Yes, I do have a 59 in French.
Oh wow, you are good at French. Do you speak French?
Nope.
Okay.
I kind of clear my throat and look at you, like,
Wow,
We're-
that's not going to give him any indication.
well, from a militaristic standpoint, we wouldn't give that away
We are looking out for the interest of France.
to endanger his life.
It's a strange company you keep. In doing so,
Yeah, it's a strange business I'm in.
my mother would be happy to hear that her homeland had such valiant defenders.
My skin crawls a little bit when he says that.
He switches back to English. He says, "I will see you, Ms. Evanston, in the morning.
I thank him in French.
Let me show you out." And he kind of stands and doesn't usher you out so much as he kind of like starts walking and expecting you to follow.
Right.
Hey, rat ick.
It's hieratic.
Hi, erratic. Thanks, Phil. Hi, erratic. So you guys follow him out, I assume. Okay.
Yeah.
He closes and locks the door behind you after saying goodbyes, and then you guys are out on the street. Are you going to go? Where are you guys going?
So I'm legit and wanting us to grab a quick bite. We need to eat. We're clearly not going home for a little bit. Who's packing?
Yeah.
See?
You're probably the only
Good.
one not packing.
Oh, I'm packing. I obviously would be. I've at least got my R2D2 knife and I've got my handgun.
Okay.
Is there a place where we can eat that still has some vantage point on
Yeah.
the museum?
Roll luck.
Because
Ooh.
we're in a square, right? Or something?
You're on an island.
I did not get lucky.
Damn it.
Wow,
Phil?
language.
I'm usually not lucky. Nor am I now.
No, there is not. However, I do need everyone to give me a spot hidden.
Got
All
it.
right. You know what? These dice are out.
Got it.
Okay. You do notice that there is a man reading a newspaper under a like a lit lamp across the street
I
from
assume
the
so.
front of the museum. You do not, when you kind of traverse around, don't see anybody on the back.
Wolfenstein.
Oh yeah, most definitely. He's getting a shank right in the throat.
Are you actually going to go over and attack him?
Not yet, but I will. I just, as you know, this is now in my mind. It's going to happen.
Do you
Very
point? Do you point him
beautifully.
out to Evelyn?
No,
No.
There's no reason to.
we will. We'll tell her when we get a chance, but not until.
Hey, Evelyn.
Look at the
Look,
guy
look
over
at
there.
that guy.
Let's pull a Jesse spy kind of act here.
Look at the guy, you guys. We see you over there.
I guess that's fair. Okay, so you guys head for a place to eat. Yeah, you find a cafe not too far. What are you guys doing there?
Eating.
Well,
You
presumably
guys
also
want to
game
talk about
planning.
anything? I mean, that's a thing you could do.
So we take it out the back, and then
What's our shared language that's not a local language?
Right. That's what I was thinking. Is-
German,
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
No.
Latin.
I got Latin, I got German, and I got English.
I have Latin.
I don't have Latin.
Dude.
I basically have Latin. I got all the Latin languages.
You don't speak Portuguese.
I don't speak Portuguese. I speak Spanish. I speak Italian. I speak French, and I speak English.
That's enough Latin.
We'll
You'd
probably
think
put it
to
together.
Understand Latin.
Not for you guys are about to have an in-depth conversation on how to do something clandestine. He needs more than just
Yeah.
kind of Latin.
So I have Italian, French, German, and Latin.
So
So English it is then.
let's check our surroundings, see if there's anybody here.
No, no, nobody's. No,
Cafe's deserted.
it's not deserted, but there's nobody close enough. You guys sat far enough away from everybody.
Okay.
So I mean, quietly, obviously, be like, should we just? Options are we get it out. If it's not going to make its way out, We put a grenade in the trunk. We blow it up. I don't. That's where I look.
Who brought a grenade?
We'll find something.
Okay.
Is their grenade going to be enough to blow up stone like that?
I'm assuming yes, enough to damage it that it makes it unusable.
Just, like...
Because
we're
grenade is
gonna do
shrapnel, right? It's going to blow off
But it's still going to have
side.
an
explosion.
It's going to have an explosion. You probably need more than one grenade.
We're gonna do something to
and
destroy
the gas
it.
tank. So the whole thing's going to blow up.
What we need to find is a good sledgehammer and just take big chunks with us. Just destroy it as best we can.
I mean, finding a hammer and chisel, you could chisel off each side.
How long would it take?
Not terribly long, because you wouldn't have to do every word. She knows where the word is in Atlantean that points to what it is and where it's at.
And we know the hieroglyphs.
And you know the hieroglyphs, so you only have to do one side where you have to do the whole side, or a majority of it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, how many pieces are there again?
there's two pieces.
The top fell off.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
Three
Of
sides.
of the thing that we're trying to build from all of the pieces that we have to go around the
6.
world for.
6.
Okay. We have one.
Mm-hmm. This is
They-
the second one.
Oh, this is the second one?
There hasn't been another one yet.
So, like, whatever was going on in Sweden?
In France?
No. Like, we had the choice to either go to, like...
Oh yeah, no. Norway had nothing to do with that.
Okay.
From best Evelyn has put. No, your name,
Evelyn.
character's name is not Samantha. I'm looking up the
Okay,
chapter
so
name,
basically
hold
my point then is that if this is the second thing, we need to not only mark out the location of the second thing, but we should also mark out the location of the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth thing.
this only gives the indication of the place here in Egypt. Everything else is in the journal.
Oh, okay.
Which we have.
Oh, never mind. I misunderstood.
No, I get what you're saying, and I think you're going in the right direction. It's just that information was not
Sammy,
put forward.
where is
Yes.
the journal?
It's in England.
Okay.
Yeah, no. You have some notes from it that
I didn't bring it
would
with
be
us.
helpful maybe to them, but not that helpful.
Okay. That's what I'm.
Oh no, the research department was like, "You want to take it where?" Nope.
Okay. In a deep underground in a bunker, like.
Yeah.
Okay. White sands, kind of. Gotcha.
Well, it's actually probably in a house.
It's-
The military intelligence for England was run out of just a house.
Huh.
But it was so like nondescript house that nobody knew that it was there. It's actually like a pretty big deal in intelligence circles.
Okay. So here's the gig. We can destroy the words. If we get interrupted, we destroy the thing. I want us in. I want us out. We're going to take the guard out in front. The watchman out in front.
This is so. Just to be clear, Samantha is talking about this. So just to be clear, in this situation, this is not part of Egyptian heritage or history at all. This is a part of the occult that we're trying to drive out.
It's still part of the history.
But
we're going to just.
pointing to something that.
That's fine. I'm not getting your point. We're going to destroy it either way.
That's what I'm saying. It would not be missed if it was destroyed.
It ties Egypt older than it is. You're shifting paradigms. You're really redefining a lot of Egyptian story and lore. So yes, there is part of the heritage we are destroying. We are wrecking their history. However, I don't care. Let's make that very clear.
However, meh.
Right. I don't give two rats' asses about this. My goal is to keep this out of the hands of the enemy. And in order to do that, we're going to destroy it, whether it makes someone happy or not. We clearly have the blessing of the curator. He understands the necessity. He's on our side.
Assistant curator.
Okay,
Whoever
so
it
I
is,
would
I
like,
don't care.
I would like to take duplicate rubbings then.
I would prefer one set if we have time to grab a second set, but mostly because I don't want us, if we're in the process of destroying it, to have a set with us that gets transferred to the Nazi hands. Your set needs to go back to the hotel. Blake and I will take out the guard, meet us there.
The guard's
with-
out front.
Right.
We're going out the back. Why don't you take him out?
He wants to stab a Nazi.
I mean,
I'm
I'm all for killing Nazis? But
Because-
it just seems to complicate things.
So this is.
I mean, we can go in, destroy it, and leave it, but then they know someone is looking. My goal would be to get it out.
yeah.
The destroying it is a last-ditch effort.
No, yes.
I mean,
but
we're
we're
gonna-
taking it out the back. He's watching the front.
Yeah, that's. You think he's only going to
What's
have
the-
one person watching the front. Your
Oh.
assumption is
Oh yeah, certainly. We get checked if someone's watching the back, then we kill that guy.
we'll kill all guys. It's Nazis. I don't care.
Well, yeah, we can. Well, if we just want to kill Nazis, then we can just wait for them to show up and then kill all of them. But that doesn't.
We
seem
could
like the
do
best-
that too if you like. I'm down. I'm not going to argue this point. We
I
could set up
don't
an
think that's
ambush and ruin
the-
their day, but that's not my goal.
I don't think that's, the most likely scenario that works out the best for us. And so,
I think there's not a good answer. But if we can get him down and out of the way,
I'm just concerned that if we take him out when they show up, then they'll go on high alert. Whereas if we go out the back,
wherever
Matt,
we take this, wherever we go, we have to be discreet. We have to be quiet. And we got to get it out. That's really the
How
goal,
would
right?
Evelyn go about sending a copy of this back to the research department in England?
You contact the British consulate here, talk to somebody in intelligence there, and have them send it back.
Courier,
So-
hand carried,
Fax it.
This is
Morse code.
how big are the rubbings? Like, are they
Their size- they're-
half of my
So
size?
what is
or-
you had paper that you laid over it
Yeah.
and then folded it, so it's as small folded down as you want because the rubbing paper is going to be thin.
It's
right?
scrolls, little tiny scrolls.
So
squirrels.
I want to
Squirrels.
send a copy back.
To England.
Yeah, to England
Okay.
to the research
Then
department.
send them the hieratic.
I'm sending all of it back. This is a part of history that needs to be preserved. It's all going back to England.
That's
Why
And
are we,
then-
why are we sending it with anyone?
We need to
And-
decipher it first.
Right, and I'm putting what we have so far and our deciphering into a journal, and we don't need a rubbing or a second copy to carry around. And then that way they're not going to get their hands on the rubbing, and it's preserved historically.
What's your art skill at?
It's pretty high. That's what was my study.
Yeah, art's the thing she does.
Art is the
You
thing
just
I
would not know
do.
it.
Don't you think it's safest in our hands until we get back to
59.
England?
5920. No. And no, anything could happen. Fire, we could get ambushed. It could be
So
taken.
whoever you send it with, the Nazis could intercept that person and take it from them.
Your
At the
argument
British
is
consulate?
at the
They
everywhere.
have to take it. You said you're
I'm
sending it
giving
back
it-
to England, so
Giving
they have
it
to
to
leave
the
it.
British consulate to send back to England.
yeah.
Yeah. So when the person leaves the British consulate to go to England,
How is anybody going to know that they have this?
How are
Nazis
they
have
gonna-
all. They're spies. Spies. We're
We are literally doing exactly what you think they're not going to be doing.
Okay, whatever. I don't think keeping it on us is a good idea.
I think
but
it on
whatever.
us until we find the second piece is there, and then you can do what you want with it.
Okay.
Once the second piece is secured, it's good. And if it gets destroyed in the process, no one has a second piece, we're safe and good. Either way, it's a win-win. We just don't get the superpower. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So if it gets destroyed on us, my big concern, again, ties back to if we do a duplicate, we have the one set that we have. You've already introduced yourself to this gal. She knows who you are, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's already a danger. She already knows you were in the museum. She already knows I was in the museum, even though she doesn't know who I am. Right?
It's
We've-
only going to be a matter of time before
They
put
this-
together that you're not Samantha.
Right.
Okay.
So this needs to be fast, discreet. We need to get on the road.
I would
Cairo's
think
not
that
safe.
I would think that in itself would be one of the biggest reasons to send it.
As is the case with most of the things, I think it's safer with us than it is with somebody who doesn't even know what it is,
Right.
and is not trained to defend themselves.
Right. They don't understand the value and the importance of what it is.
Is the British consulate? They don't have military. It's not military.
No. I mean, there are military people there, but like, what are you looking for, really?
They're not going to armored escort this paperwork
Yeah,
back.
no. It's going to be.
It's going to be in the
like,
hands of some dude.
Oh, it's some dude that gets to go home for a couple of weeks. So he gets on a boat and
takes
here,
it with him.
take this bunch of paperwork with you that we need to send home.
Oh, okay.
It's not like
it's
he's
like-
getting on a destroyer and
It's not a field operative intelligence person that's going to be carrying it. It's going to be
just
like
some- it's
some
just
desk
some-
worker,
Some guy.
some
Right.
researcher.
He's British. It's some bloke.
Some bloke.
Um,
Some dude.
Well, now that you guys have argued that out, gotten to the place we need to be, this is a great place for us to take a break. We do have other podcasts over at nerdsdom.com. We just had a new one launch called Seriously Let's Play, where we play games as one-shots of stuff that the hosts have wanted to play for a while. Definitely should check that out. Otherwise, we will talk to you guys real soon. And that will do it for us tonight on the Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. Remember, you can email us at nerdsdomain@gmail.com or find us over on Facebook and Twitter at facebook.com/nerdsdomain and twitter.com/nerdsdomain. You can also check out our site at nerdsdom.com. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter while you're there. You can head over to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. We want to thank Passion Nerdly for our music. Don't forget, you can support us at patreon.com/nerdsdomain and check out our shirts at TeePublic.